did you know that the ozone layer is what protects us from ultraviolet radiation? Well, then you also need to know that the ozone layer is being depleted. The ozone layer is a critical part of our atmosphere, and although we don't think about it that often, I'm going to persuade you in doing your part to help repair it. So, first, I'm going to tell you about the causes of ozone depletion, how it's happening, the harmful effects that come from it, and then I'm going to tell you simple solutions that you can do around the house. So, first things first, we need to know what's causing our ozone layer to be depleted. Now, this happens for a multitude of reasons, but the most important being chlorofluorocarbons, otherwise known as CFCs. Now, these chlorofluorocarbons are so damaging because they are used in our everyday life all the time. CFCs are coolants that we find in our refrigerator and AC. Now, when these CFCs are released into the atmosphere, ultraviolet radiation is able to break through and cause a series of reactions that destroy the ozone. There's also man-made chemicals. Now, there are a few of them, but the most important chemical compound are halons. Halons are also found in our everyday life, particularly they're found in our fire extinguishers. Halons and CFCs are so damaging because they're very stable in our atmosphere, which means they can stay a long time. Even with a halt in our CFC production right now, halons and CFCs will still be in our atmosphere decades later. Now that we know the causes of our ozone depletion, I can tell you about the harmful effects that come from it. So, ultraviolet radiation by itself is already very harmful to humans. We can't absorb too much of it at one time, otherwise, we'll get sunburns and maybe even skin cancer. But when holes are created in our atmosphere by CFCs, more ultraviolet radiation is allowed to seep in through our atmosphere. Now, this is harmful for multiple reasons, with direct and indirect damage to humans. With direct damage, ultraviolet radiation, when humans absorb too much, can cause skin cancer, like I said before, or cataracts or eye damage. And if we absorb too much ultraviolet radiation, it can even lead to death. And those are just the direct consequences. Our indirect consequences, if UV rays are too strong, they can harm our ecosystems as well. They can they can kill producers by harming them through the photosynthesis process. This causes an issue in the food chain from the bottom up, which will eventually hurt humans in the process. Now that we know the harmful effects, I can tell you simple solutions that you can do to help fix the ozone layer. First, the government has done its part in trying to repair the ozone layer. They've tried many solutions, the most important one being the Montreal Protocol. So this protocol, it aimed to phase out CFCs over a period of time, and it did just that. So the Montreal Protocol is still in effect, halting the production of CFCs today. There are things you can do around the house though, and they're very simple as well. The first thing is just unplug your electronics when you're not using them. It sounds simple, but people forget to do it all the time. You can also recycle instead of throw away your trash. Simply unplugging your electronics and recycling instead of throwing away causes a tremendous decrease in carbon output into our atmosphere. Another way you can help is to carpool whenever you can. Carpooling with a friend instead of just driving yourself is another big way to cut carbon emissions into the atmosphere. So let's recap everything we've gone through today. I told you what's causing the ozone depletions are chlorofluorocarbons. I've told you about the harmful effects, including skin cancer, cataracts, and now what you can do. Just unplugging your electronics or carpooling when you have the chance. So let's do our part in repairing the ozone.